All right, we are recording on our computer. This is month 1, week 2 call. So I'm not Bonnie Kelly. I'm Jillian Bolands. Our Bonnie Kelly is very, very sick today. So just for I know she's super sick. So for consistency purposes, I just logged into her account so that we keep the Zoom link the same for you guys week after week. So I'm gonna leave the charge today. Hi, Marianne.
Hello.
And I was just sharing that. If any of you, I mean, we could talk about this offline, but if any of you are interested in essential oils, I can support you with that. But I just grabbed at the beginning of our call 2 oils that I wanted to diffuse. So I grabbed peppermint and lime, and I was just reading in my handy dandy book right here. Peppermint brings joy and buoyancy to the heart and soul. Fitting. It invigorates body, mind, and spirit, and reminds individuals that life can be happy and that they don't have to be controlled by fear. Did anyone else need that message today? Cool, right? So let's see. Positive properties: buoyant, optimistic, relieved, strength to face emotional pain. Yeah, super cool. Okay, and then a companion oil, lime. Let's look up lime. So lime is zest for life. Lime imbues the soul with a zest for life. When individuals have been weighed down by discomfort, discouragement, or grief, lime elevates them above the mire. It instills courage and cheer in their heart and reminds them to be grateful for life. Positive properties: courageous, emotionally honest, engaged, revitalized, determined, and grateful for life. Who needed to just hear those little, just energetically, right? I know you can't smell what I smell right now, but like, who needed to be reminded that we can literally call that stuff in? At any time, we can call that stuff in, right? It can't just be Marianne. Ladies, remember, this is participatory. Can we get a hand raise, right? So, okay. Welcome. I'm so excited. Okay. We're recording. Let's dive right in. So,
My oils.
What was that? Someone said something. We good? We good? All right, perfect. So I'm going to actually, can I mute? There we go. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So, welcome, you guys. This is so fun. I'm so sad that Bonnie can't be here. She was super sick, but I'm recording this. This is our week 2 call. Last week we kind of got to like dive in, do a little bit of like state of the state, get you all set up with like reminding you how to get into the system and everything like that. This week I'm coaching and we're jiving, and we're also going to have some really incredible conversation that you all get to be a part of. And so I want to invite you. Hi, Marnie. Hello, everyone that just came. Perfect. Hi, Heidi. So I would like to invite you all taking a deep breath and closing your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes with you so you don't have to feel funny staring at a computer and having your eyes closed. And I'd like for you to put your hands over your solar plexus, so over your gut. This is over your belly button. This is your will center. This is where your inner child lives. This is also where all of your worthiness stuff is kept, whether it's where you feel really worthy and you feel embodied by that, or you feel like a big fraud and you feel like you have to earn your worthiness through doing the song and dance that other people want you to do. Every one of those stories that builds up or takes away from the freaking amazing superpower goddess that you are is stored here, right in your solar plexus. So I want you to breathe into this space. Breathe deep into your belly. Good. For a moment, I want to call you into a space of just pure bright yellow light. Like you're standing in the sun. It's not yellow like a buttercup. It's kind of white and glittery and glimmery and whimsical and happy, supportive, comforting, fun. Let this color wash over you. Just allow yourself to bask. And I encourage you, smile a little bit. Remember, this university is all about helping you to embody the truth of you, who it is you are yearning and ready to become. Some of it you're going to feel kind of silly during, but it's because you've been programmed and wired for negativity, not feeling good enough, and ways to keep you down. So smile. Smile in this yellow light. Bask in the warmth of this color, of this energy, of this truth, of your whimsy. I want you to bring to mind a former version of you, a littler one, like 5, 6, 7, somewhere in that time frame. I want you to picture her. What did she look like when she felt free and embodied and happy? What did she look like? What was she doing? Was she running through a field? Was she drawing and painting? No matter what she was doing, she was smiling. Maybe just ask her to help you remember how to smile right now, how to embody, how to take a deep breath into the truth of you. And remember that we don't need the stories of not being worthy because we were born innately worthy. We've just forgotten over time. And in those glimpses and those moments that we have that remembrance, we celebrate and we bask in this yellow, glittery, beautiful light. Take another deep breath. Allow this light to cleanse you. Allow yourself to feel it through your energetic column, which connects all of your chakras. It's the column that goes straight from the top of your head, where that soft spot was when you were a baby, all the way down to the base of your tailbone. Light this up. Let's get recalibrated with worthiness. Let's feel the joy. Let's not wait for the joy to show up and for us to react to it. Let's embody it now. I want you to think about things that make you feel joyful. What made this previous version of you feel joyful? What did she do? What did she laugh at? Do a cartwheel in your head. Paint a picture. Go give someone a hug. Do a silly dance. Allow this inner version of you. She just wants to play today. She wants to release. She wants to invite you into remembering and into playing. She knows all the excuses that have been coming up over the past week. She knows how you've stared more at how you've always done things than what you could possibly do now. She knows. And still she plays, and she invites you into playing too. She invites you into a deeper sense of looseness, of silliness, of not taking yourself so damn seriously, even though she wouldn't say damn. I invite you, let's wiggle your shoulders, move them around right where you're sitting. Stretch your neck side to side. Do some circles. Oh, that feels amazing. Neck rolls, both directions. And I want you to just start moving your arms as if you're dancing in your seat, just a little bit. We can stretch, we can dance, we can flow. Don't take the easy way out. Just move. Put down what we don't need. Bring your focus back to the present moment. Just move your arms. Now I want you to engage your torso a little bit. Lula, I see you. Dance in your seat. Just engage your torso. Just move with the rhythm of your inner child. I know it doesn't feel normal because normal feels rigid. It feels like self-deprecation. It feels like all the can'ts you've been telling yourself. Well, guess what? Normal now gets to be embodiment, gets to be flowy, it gets to be life, it gets to be fun. Who's ready for fun? Smile big if you're ready for fun. Smile bigger, show some teeth. Good job, Marianne. Good job, Jackie. Good job. Keep going. I know you think that we're done. We're not. Keep going. Good. I want you to picture yourself. Put your arms straight up into the sky, kind of holding your hands at a V so that you can receive. Take a deep breath from this space. I want you to repeat after me. I am willing to receive the fun, the joy, the deep knowing embodiment I am ready for. I want you to push your hands out. I am willing to release the crap, the excuses, the I can't mentality. Bring your hands to your heart, because I am ready to live in the worthiness and the whimsy that was innately given to me when I was born. From this space, deep breath, open your eyes. If we were at a live event, I would tell you to hug a sister. Since we are not, I want you to just give like virtual high fives to everybody. Good. Good, good, good. Okay. Good. How are we doing now? Feeling a little bit better? I know we usually come on and do a dance party, but I know how sensitive some of you are feeling today. I know how much crap has been coming up for you over the past couple days, over the past week. So I would love for you to comment in the box something that you feel really freaking excited about. And while you do that, I'm going to give just a little tinge of tough love. During the course of this week, we asked you a couple different questions. What do you feel excited about? What's a win? And for the most part, yes, we want honesty so we can support you through things. But for the most part, all of those questions were answered in the negative first before the positive was brought in. We want to challenge that right from the beginning. This is the foundational building month. We want for you, yes, to witness the stuff that's coming up. Abraham Hicks always kind of jokingly says, is it normal for like everything to go to shit when we first start doing the inner work? Yeah, it's normal, because guess what? Has anyone ever done like a physical detox, like with food, like sugar? Right? The first couple of days feel awful, right? Like the headache and the sluggishness and all the things. We get that many detoxifying events are going to come up over the course of these first couple of weeks. That's why we're going like slowly and steadily, foundational building stuff. And also, you're here to make change. We're here to like do the work. And so we're going to call it out at the beginning of this process. We're going to help to give you new tools right away. Now, I don't want you to feel defensive. I don't want you to feel like, oh gosh, she saw me. I want you to say, oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I did. I answered that like really negatively first, and then I brought in the positive. Cool. Do we see how our demons do their work? What if we learned right from the beginning, like, okay, we're not hiding anymore because we're deserving of a life where we get to actually live by the standard of joy. You guys have heard Bonnie and I say that a bunch of different times, right? Doesn't mean we haven't gone through our shit, right? And I told you guys last week, the entire month of December was a shit show for yours truly. Like I went into the depths of emotions with it. And also, I caught myself as early as I could. I called myself out with honesty, with love and tenderness, like I'm doing for you all, right? I love you so much. We're going to help you with all of this. But also, you have to help you with all of this too. Yes? Can I just get a nod? Good. We're taking some radical personal responsibility now. As the stuff comes up, right? As the sandstorm starts coming, like, oh gosh, I've committed to this thing. I'm going to be doing some deep work. Like, yeah, of course. Did I ever have some of you have heard this? The first time I committed to my first coaching program, I had this beautiful chandelier over my kitchen, my dining room table. And it was like one that like had fake candles on it, like lights. The lights looked like candles. I literally spent $2,000 a month for this, right? So like just think of that, right? Think about investments, think about the energy that's exchanged, like think about that. I spent my first $2,000 on myself ever. And that covered 1 month of this program. And I literally walked upstairs and it was like Beauty and the Beast style. The candles, the fake candles that were lights in the chandelier literally were bursting into flames. Like, you can't tell me the universe wasn't ready to say, all right, let's burn some shit down so we can let in what you're ready for, right? And I could have gone every which way with that. I could have said like, see, I can't spend money on myself. Now we have a chandelier to replace, right? And looked at it super surface level. Or I could have looked at it like, oh, all right, we're setting fire to some old beliefs here. And we're setting fire to this old chandelier so we can call in what's actually going to serve us and help us to declare and determine a new level of safety and a new level of deep knowingness. And sometimes it takes getting a little uncomfortable. So if you're in a space of like, lots of stuff is coming up, then I just want you to also witness like your excuses don't have to cover them too. You don't have to raise your excuses because like the other stuff is coming. We get to just steadily, right? My word is steady for the year, like we talked about last week. Steadily go into this and let us coach you through the hard stuff. But as we're doing that, you remember that you get to embody all that you want. So now is the time that we get to talk about like what's been coming up, because I know I've seen a few like just some things that have been put out there bravely and beautifully, but it's been like the energy of them has really like there's a common thread is what I'm trying to say. So let's talk through those things. Let's coach through those things now so that we can dive into the work, right? Do the actual module, do the actual homework, because it's going to get really powerful. And you're going to release and grow and move and embody deeper versions of you than you ever have ever before. Who's excited to do that? Yeah, so good, right? And also, we've got to start now. I just recorded one of the spiritual spins for a further month down, and it's so good, you guys. And as I was thinking about that, I'm just thinking about where you are now. And I'm like, oh my gosh. If these women show up and do this work over the course of the next few months, they are going to be blown a freaking way by what's available to them. But we got to start from the beginning, right? So hands up, other hand over your heart. I, state your name, am super committed to seeing the obstacles that are showing up right now, thanking them for coming, and not succumbing to old patterns and letting them derail me from the beginning. Because the good stuff's coming. Say that too, because the good stuff's coming. And I'm just as excited for that stuff. You can point to. Good job, Heather. As I am this moment now. Because every now will create my future. Okay, you don't have to repeat after me anymore. That was a long one, but that was good. You guys feel that, right? So this is my final like coach them up point. We think that our future is going to be different somehow, right? You've all envisioned the future life that you want to live in some way, shape, or form. It may not be super clear, But I know that many of you have said, I want to live a life of freedom. I want to live a life where I feel better. So you have this future version of you that's like living the future life, doing her thing. Guess what? If you continue to allow every now moment to be one of the past, one of misery, one of excuses, one of self-deprecation, that's what you're going to create in the future. Because the future is made up of just now moments that haven't happened yet. Going to say that again. The future is made up of now moments that haven't happened yet. And if we're creating the now out of past patterns, past excuses, past ways of staying small, then what do we think we're creating the future out of? Or what do we think the future is going to turn into? You ladies are freaking brilliant. You're freaking powerful. I want to read some of the things that you're excited about. I'm excited about all the organization I accomplished this weekend. Yes, Becca, I was so excited to see your post on that. Heidi is excited about writing. She's been doing lots of writing. Heidi actually wrote one of the most beautiful blog posts I've ever read before. I read it. It was like Sunday morning, like newspaper time, but it was like on my phone reading a blog by Heidi. It was awesome. Jackie is excited about the moon on Friday and how this weekend came in hot. Sister, oh yeah, that moon, she was no joke. So this moon, you guys, and I know I did a little ditty, I won't go deep on it, but this was the first full moon in Cancer. Like we didn't have a full moon in Cancer last year, so it's been like over a year, over 2 years. So pretty potent, and Cancer is a very deeply emotional astrological sign. Jackie, do you have Cancer in you? No, you just felt her really deep. Probably. I'm not an astrologist with like the conjunct and adjunct and all those things with the planets, but yeah, no, you weren't alone with that. So I'm with you. Margaret, happy to keep adding greatness and goodness to my life. Yeah, girl. Lisa's super excited about this process. I can feel the changes just from shifting of a week, good and bad. I'm thrilled about this journey. Awesome. And Lisa, I'm so glad that you brought it like that good and bad. Like, and it's the polarity, right? The light and the dark. Like all the things are going to show up. Awesome. Excited, Jeanette, excited to be feeling somewhat better with my depression in the past week. Awesome. Good, Jeanette. As Bonnie said, shifting and recovering more quickly than in the past. Amazing. Marnie is excited about now. That's right. That is your word for the year. And Heather's excited about our call. Okay, ladies, welcome. Took a few minutes to get to the welcome, right? But like, how many of you needed that? All of the recalibration. Yeah, I know. I got you. So holding space for our Bonnie, I am going to be very Jillian in this call. I'm going to never, ever pretend that I can be both me and Bonnie. And so I just want to hold space for the fact that like you have called in 2 amazing coaches that have our different styles, and we've learned a lot from each other too. So I will be kind of representing the duo that is Bonnie and Jillian today, who has something that is coming up big, needs to be coached on it right here, right now. Because we're going to hop right into it. You can raise your hand. You can post me in the chat. I don't need to be talking at you. I mean, I like to start off our calls with coach 'em ups that are kind of, Jackie, awesome, that are deeply felt for the whole group, but like I want to hop into some like hot seat conversations. So remember, ladies, whatever comes up individually for all of you is meant for the entire group. So it's amazing. Marnie's always so good at this. Like she's like, she listens to other people. She's like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I needed. Like, so take it in. Remember, I'll be coaching Jackie right now, but the deeper underlying messages are going to impact you in some way, shape, or form. So, hey, girlfriend.
Hello.
How are you?
Fantastic.
Awesome. What can we do to support you today?
So I have had, so this is work professionally related.
Yeah.
I've, recently kind of pitched like my ideal dream position, which was super well received by my boss, who happens to be, the CEO of our organization. And he brought in some of his, senior leadership team, and it kind of went to crap from there.
Really? All right. Talk to us. Tell us more. Set the stage.
Well, really, it was kind of like a, I don't even really know how to explain it. It was one of the most awkward conversations and meetings I've ever had. Because people weren't really prepared. They didn't read the material. They kind of didn't really. They weren't fully present. They were distracted. The whole thing. So I'm kind of in a place where I was super, super excited about this and really optimistic. And now I'm kind of like my energy's derailed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, well, it's kind of like, do I have to keep fighting?
Yeah.
Is it ego? Is it, some other sort of thing driving it that it's maybe not the right time or the right thing?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in that little like swirl of, is it not right, or is it right? I just need to push harder for it, but I don't want to push it if it's not right.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling imbalanced in that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's yeah.
So good. Can you give me a little bit of context? Like, what does this dream position look like for you? Like, what does she feel like? What would you be doing? What would you be embodying? Just give me a little bit more so I can sink into that part.
Okay, so it would be onboarding new leadership.
Mm-hmm.
It would be coaching and mentoring. It would be doing specific team building throughout the organization. It would be creating and fostering climate change within our organization, and increasing perspectives and diversity within the organization.
Cool. So, okay, a couple things. I'm reading Gabby Bernstein's Super Attractor right now. Have you read that?
I have.
And she so this particular piece just came through. I just read it last night. And I just want to remind you, because I know that you've done this work and I know that you know this stuff, but how did she put it? Every no, every rejection is actually just like a reorientation. So when you get a no, it's not because that idea sucked or because you suck. It's because like there's something better, right? Like the adage, this or something better. So I just want to remind you of that, this or something better, right? So if this isn't the thing, we can spend a lot of time worrying about why it's not the thing, or like, what the heck, like, do I have to keep fighting for it? Or we can just remember like, okay, maybe that's not the thing, because now I remember that something better is coming. So that's the first little nugget. But the other thing I want to like get in deep with is like, why do you feel, because you use the word fight and force and struggle, right? Like, why do you feel like you have to force something that innately you really want to do? What does that represent for you?
I don't. Excellent question. I think it can come down to like the underlying, like everything. It has like things have to be hard.
Yeah.
And it's just. But it's on the flip side of that. I've never been one to ask for what I wanted.
Okay.
So I'm like doing this dance of, this is a new territory, but I also know these other things, like the super attractor and Abraham Hicks saying it's law of attraction, because I've been putting these types of things out there, and it could be that it's just not manifesting in it's not in its correct form yet, and I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah.
But I think it comes back to my mental model, where you have to work hard and it has to be difficult.
Yeah.
And honestly, it could come back to some worthiness stuff as well.
It usually does. Just like like disclaimer, everybody, it usually always comes back to worthiness. And like we have to, but like that's the easy button. Like, oh, it comes back to worthiness. I'm not feeling worthy. Okay, like we're not healed when we say that, right? Like we got to get all the nuances. Like I'm inviting you, like Jackie, let's pull out the flashlight a little bit because this is like detective work. So, okay, your beliefs, and I don't want to like use words for you, but I want to like simplify it. So tell me if this is right. Your belief is that it should be hard. Anything that I really want should be a struggle to achieve. Is that right?
Yep.
And since I've never actually practiced asking for what I want, then when I do, I won't get it because it's going to be a struggle anyway, so why bother?
Yeah.
So you made a big ask, right? Like, did you felt clear in what you were asking for?
Mm-hmm.
You felt confident.
Yes.
Also, are these things that you were asking for things that you like really friggin' want to do?
Yes.
Okay. So you were finally allowing yourself to use your voice, stand for what you wanted. And if the underlying belief is, what the heck is the point of this? Because I'm going to have to struggle for it anyway, and it's not going to actually happen. Then, of course, they were showing up disengaged, unprepared, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now we are looking at, okay, what is the actual belief system? I have clarity on what I friggin' want to do, but if I don't believe that I can actually have it, that's where the disconnect comes. I'm picturing, so like you have a bottle, right? And at the top of the bottle is the cork. That's like the celebration, right? When the cork pops off and like, this is what I want. Mm-hmm. So you're over here like, I want this job and I want to coach people and I want to empower people. I want to bring in more diversity. Like this is lighting me up. But if that bottle is fueled with the belief that we talked over here, that it's got to be a struggle and we got to force for it, then that top's not going to pop off with the same amount of exuberance that you were hoping for. Hope and belief are different. So you were hoping for this job. You are hoping for this job. But if the underlying belief is it's going to be freaking hard and I have to ask for it, so I'm not going to get it anyway, then that's what's popping out of the bottle. Is that a good metaphor?
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense.
What's coming through for you now? So what's like the yeah, but, or like, oh shit, or like, what's the next thing?
I don't know that there's any oh shits coming.
That's good.
Because I really do I really do believe that it will work out the way it is supposed to.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there could have been, I didn't manifest it correctly.
Let's use different words. You manifested it for exactly what it was meant to do, and be like a learning. You didn't manifest, and that, you guys, like manifestation can get tricky, right? Because like then when things go bad, you're like, oh my god, did I manifest that? No. So when we don't get what we want, we actually have energy that blocks the manifestation, blocks the flow. We don't ever manifest anything bad. We throw fear and resistance in the way of what we want to come. So Jackie, yes, totally get what you're saying, but like it wasn't that you manifested it wrong. It was that like you threw a boulder in the middle of it.
I let other energy and mental model thoughts come into play, and it wasn't fully clear.
Yes. So what are the mental model thoughts that you let kind of like become a boulder that you threw on your path?
That it wasn't as important to other people.
Mm-hmm. Good. So that means that what's important to you will never be validated by anyone else. No one else is going to see the importance of what you feel really connected to. Mm-hmm. Right?
Or it's not a high priority.
Okay. Does that make what you want less than?
No.
Okay. Good.
No, it's just different.
Yep.
Um, I always, whenever I start to put energy into something, it always comes out the way I want it to. We'll just put it there.
Always.
um, yeah. But whatever I put my energy into is exactly how it turns out.
Yeah.
So it always turns out that way, whichever way I put the energy there.
Right.
So it's interesting that 'cause I've been kind of like thinking about this, like the next steps in life. Like, what does it look like, and trying to paint a picture, and it's been pretty fuzzy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fuzzy.
Yep.
So I think that's part of it, in that innately it's really difficult for me to get clear on super long-term things. So I have to work in smaller chunks.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's kind of where it's at.
Yeah, you're doing a really good job with this, and you're getting a lot of people are resonating with what you're saying. So you are, I feel the fuzziness. You have clarity on like what you want to do for this role, but there's fuzziness in terms of what's it gonna look like, and is it as important to the organization as it is to me? How does it impact other people? Right. So, and like, what will this look like further on down the road? Is that right?
Well, that's true. And there's also fuzziness with, I don't know that I want to be in like corporate healthcare
Yep.
for the next 20 years. Let's just be real. It's not that much fun sometimes. And is there something else that should be better serving me? Like I have every intention of going to Kundalini teacher training this fall, which is a completely different avenue.
Totally.
So that's kind of where it's like a little bit fuzzy. Like I want to do all the things.
Yeah.
But, can always do that.
Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Like, did you feel your excitement go, I want to go to Kundalini teacher training this fall, and it's not in alignment at all, but like with what I'm doing, but like that feels really fun. So like here's what's coming up. You are painting the most beautiful picture with this job that you presented for the situation that you're in.
Yeah.
You haven't painted it for what could be, what it gets to evolve into. Mm-hmm. Right? Bring this back to like when we stare at our reality, right? And every single one of you can do this. Think about your bank account, right? When you look at your bank account, you're looking at what's there, but you're also looking at what's not there, right? So we're looking at reality and we're believing in it, instead of remembering that gets to change at any time. So Jackie, I'm over here like, oh, this is so juicy and delicious, because what is being revealed to you is that current reality isn't where you actually want to go. It's just hard to paint the picture for the job based on reality without like taking into account like, but like I might not want to be doing this exact thing forever and ever, amen. So I feel a little bit of guilt. I feel a little bit of unsureness. I feel a little bit like I'm trying to like tidy up the present day room for what I want, but I'm not allowing myself to have what I actually want. Yeah. Is that right?
That is. And it's in my in my brain, it's oh my gosh, it's super systems like driven. Yeah. So I feel like I have to have all these building blocks to build up to whatever that is or could be or what is going to be. Yeah. But it's like I've got to like start hoarding all the like little trinkets, so when I need them, they're all there and ready.
And that's the worthiness piece.
Yeah.
Remember how you said, like, I'm sure it boils down to worthiness at some, that's it right there. You feel like you have to earn what it is you actually want, which is the force, right? I have to force myself to gather up the trinkets and build the staircase. Instead of remembering that, like, you're actually Spider-Man and you can jump from here to there. Like, you can do that. You don't need the staircase. You can just freaking do it. You can just go. You don't have to do the dance to earn the okay from bosses, from senior management, from whoever in the current room that you're in, you actually could say, like, what is it that I actually want to do? I want to do this coaching. I want to do this mentoring. It just may not be here that I want to be doing it. I'm trying to fit it in over here. I'm trying to like take that round peg and chisel it off so I can fit it into the square hole, because it has to be hard. If I'm going to create it for reality, it has to be hard. I have to force it. Here's the message to all of you. If you feel like you have to force it, it's not right. If you have to force it, that is that resistance that's like, whoa, sister. Nothing that's meant to be will ever have to be forced. Doesn't mean you don't have to work hard for it, right? Doesn't mean that you don't have to like put in some time and energy into the creation of it, but it's never going to feel like this. So Jackie, this is maybe more of that deeper question, but maybe you have an answer that just wants to come out like, what do you
want? Fun. That's it.
Do you feel like taking aspects of the job that you created for the place that you're in and just doing aspects, no matter where it is, could be fun?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like that's the core of what you want, right?
Yeah.
And it would be cool if it happened to fit into reality, like present day reality. Be a lot more convenient, right? If you could just start doing what you wanted to do where you were. I'm feeling the fuzziness is because there is that Spider-Man jump. Like there's a little bit of that, like, you got to get from here to the top of this building.
Yep.
And you're over here like, oh, but how do I build the stairs inside the building that I'm in? It's like, well, it doesn't exactly fit. And that's not to say like you need to quit your job, you need to change everything right now, like, but it's an invitation into like, okay, now I know what I actually want. And it's okay if the reality and the scenery in which I'm doing it in changes a little bit in order to get there. I'm open and willing to receive that. And in the meantime, cool, if you can start implementing some of those things where you are, so awesome. But I'm feeling like in that moment, like in that room with those people, the expectation that you had, like the belief system that you had was, they're not going to believe in me anyway. And of course they were distracted, right? If we create our own reality, of course they were distracted and unprepared and not there, because your dream supersedes what you were asking for them to give you.
See, I think I do believe that they believe in me.
Oh yeah, totally.
I don't know that I had a really clear, I don't want to say expectation or vision perhaps of how that was, what the next steps and how it was going to go.
I think I
visualize that.
Yeah, I think their belief in you is not the question, right? Like they honor you, they trust you, they know you, they're grateful for you. I think what got fuzzy was, you know what you want, but the clarity of vision for how it impacts their organization wasn't there. Because your heart's like, oh, I want to like bring in Kundalini, and I want to do some of this in other areas of my life, and I want to like go this route, and I can't keep doing this while I'm going in this route. So I think homework for you is just journaling it out. Like, okay, I'm going to let myself get really brave. And if any of you feel like this is going to be a good, like fun homework assignment for you, write this down. I'm just going to let myself get really brave. And if I could do anything in any scenery, what would it be? Without force. I think having that clarity, Jackie, will help you to know what you want to start to embody in your present day place and just see how it can grow and evolve from there. Feeling better?
Yes, thank you.
Feeling a little bit more stable?
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't manifest anything bad. You literally, and I know that you know that, but you literally, what happened there, you guys, sometimes what happens in a situation literally just leads us to the place where we get to ask different questions of ourselves to let us dream a little bit deeper.
Side note,
Yeah.
I totally know what the answers are, but I'm afraid of them.
Well, there's that.
And there's that.
Anyone else? It's really scary to look outside of the walls that we live in sometimes. We say we've got these dreams. We say we know what it is that we want to do. But holy crap, that means going outside. It means doing something different. So I think the word courageous, right? Like be really brave with this. If you had nothing holding you back, and you can also explore, like, why do I feel nervous about the answer? Oftentimes because it will call you into deeper levels of change and deeper levels of self-embodiment. And when we've been living our whole life programmed to literally live according to how other people want us to live, parents, bosses, family, spouses, kids, whatever it is, it can be kind of scary to like actually answer the question, like, what do I want? So just let yourself have peace with that. And Jackie, that's awesome. It's awesome that you have that deep level of awareness. So like, okay, I'm going to do this, but I'm actually also scared of what the answers are going to be, because that goes into a whole different category. So do step one, and then we'll help you work through the next layer. You guys see now how it's a layer? It's really interesting. Guess what? And here's the truth. At the bottom of all the layers is freedom. And there will be hits of freedom throughout. So it's not like I'm saying like you have to constantly be peeling back and then it's just going to be one shitstorm after the other. Like there's going to be good feelings in each of the layers that you uncover. All right. That was lengthy, but that was really good. We peeled through a lot. Was that helpful, ladies? Good. All right. Who's got something else? Who's got something next? Valerie. Unmute. All right, I got you, girl.
Okay, so for me, I had a hard time, and this happens in every aspect of my life. So I'm a full-time student. Obviously, there's homework. I also do a lot of advocacy work for the scholarship program that I'm in. And I am resistant to when it comes to homework. It has a lot to do with how I was brought up. So I was raised in an abusive household. My dad was, from a very young age, he was just very like hard on us when it came to school and like any academics. And so he would like sit us down. Like I remember being 4 or 5 years old, barely able to do like a stick figure. And he would request us to like draw this intricate figurine. And so the whole time as a young girl, I didn't know how to do that. So I was always being, hit, or as I started to go to school, I wasn't allowed to ask questions on homework. I wasn't allowed to use an eraser. So if I did, it was just, I just have a lot of trauma when it comes to doing homework.
Yeah.
So I resist it.
Yeah.
And last week when we had the call, I was so excited. I went, I printed the work, and then it stopped there.
Yeah.
And then every day it was like, Valerie, you have to do the homework. And with my best intention, I would take it out and I would read over it. And then I just have a hard time holding myself accountable and actually doing the work. I resist it. And I just don't know. I have a little bit more clarity as to why, but I just don't know how to like get over that.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, because that's deep. And I think everyone here has her own version of that. Maybe not to the extent of the abuse around homework, but we all have our own stories. So Valerie, you're not alone with having this like deep story of like, I really want to do that thing, but like I physically feel a blockage. Like I can't sit down and do it. And so the one thing that is coming up for me is that you're safe. You're safe. breathe that in. And everyone, let's hold space for safety, okay? I'm putting up an energetic bubble for this right now. You're really, really, really safe. It's safe for you to sit down and do the homework. But deeper than that, it's safe for you to mess up. It's safe for you to look at the worksheet and think, WTF, this sucks. And to state that. It's safe for you to not nail the landing on the first try. It's safe for you to not nail the landing on the 100th try. It's safe for you both physically in your world to sit down, to pick a time and sit down with the paper and the pen. And it's also safe for you in the spiritual world to learn the things that are going to help for you to evolve and to gain the knowledge. You are really, really safe. And I think that that's going to be a really important thing for you to constantly remind yourself. And I'm not just talking about like, you know, just easy affirmations that you can say just to like make yourself feel better. Like, that's not what this course is programmed for. It is safe for you to say, I am safe to do the homework here, and to let your whole body feel it. Because remember, Bonnie and I are bringing in the combination of the mental and the emotional, like the learning of things, the logistics of things, but also the spiritual and the physical, so that we can deeply know and feel them. It takes it to a whole other level. You are safe to do this work. And so from a coaching point of view, I'm over here like, isn't it curious that your whole life now is made up of going to school and learning new things and having homework, and it's the thing that you fear the very most? Right? Like, isn't that convenient that you're actually like going to school with homework, and then you joined a program that like, you guys, we're not having a lack of homework issue over here. I've seen the modules. I know what's coming. And I don't say that from a place of like, look out, like lock your printers up because there's a lot of pages to be printed out. I'm saying that from like, there's so much deep work that happens on the page, and then that's transcribed into your heart. So isn't it curious that the thing that you fear the very most is actually the thing that you've called in mass abundance? Who else can apply that to themselves right now in some area of your life? The thing that you fear the very most is the thing we're fucking doing. Right? And it's because you're ready for it.
And I think I shared a little bit with you. So I went to the full moon ceremony, and that was the thing that resonated with me in a big way, was just connecting with the younger version of me and letting her know that it's okay. Like, I'm an adult, I'm safe, I can protect myself, and that older version of me no longer serves its purpose. And I thanked her so many times for getting me to where I am today. But it felt good to kind of just shed that. And I feel like, that for it to come up, it's always coming up. And I agree that I just need to keep on reminding myself that I'm not in that situation anymore.
Yeah. Who would like, for me, just looking at the time, like hands up, we'll do a majority rules, but how would you guys feel about me walking you through a quick 5-6 minute visualization for you to meet a former version of you and tell her what she needs to know? That'd be helpful. Want to give it a go? All right. Because I think that this is, Valerie, you've opened up a lot, and this is just like, we need this right now, especially at the beginning of this, because oftentimes the young, like a younger version of us. And it's interesting that we started off the call like with a younger version who's like wants to play. But then also when we feel fear, it's usually not even from us. It's from a previous version of us that hasn't lived what we've lived up to. So think about it. If you like ran into your inner 5-year-old on the street, she would be so nervous about most of the things that you're doing because she only knows what she knows up to 5 years old. She doesn't know that you know so much more intellectually and on a deep wisdom level, right? All right. This is going to be really powerful. Valerie, thank you for sharing. Yeah, everyone's solar plexus is so wide open. Marnie, I also want to answer your question before we dive into this visualization, because I think it's going to be really powerful and it's going to be a beautiful place to end the call. Marnie asked earlier, why can't Jackie do both? Start her role somewhere while she is still in her corporate role. She can. She just has to believe it. And she has to have the clarity with what she wants to grow into. I have done a lot of personal work around, I used to be such an either or person. And I did a lot of deep discovery work with and. So my inner demon, I've actually renamed her and, because it doesn't have to be black or white. It doesn't have to be either or. I don't have to be mom or businesswoman. I don't have to be athlete and foodie who loves to have a really good glass of wine with her dinner, right? Like I don't have to be either or. I get to be and. I get to be a blend of all the things. So every single one of you, and Jackie included, gets to do both. We get to have all the things that we want, but it's really hard for us to jump from that either or into and without that connection to the clarity that Jackie is going to be cleaning up right now. So really, really good question. That helpful, you guys? Good. Okay. I invite you to sit, eyes open, palms up. We are in receiving mode. I want you to just take a deep breath. We have opened up our solar plexus. This is where our inner child lives. And for many of us, our inner child gets to be the deep remembrance of fun and of whimsy and of trusting your gut and just going based on what feels good. But our inner child can also be the representation of what we're really scared of, because our inner child was guided by people that were misinformed, perhaps, people that hadn't done their own work and led from a place of fear, maybe even abuse. Our inner child was programmed to believe that no, you can't have that thing. No, you can't do that thing. And so our inner child is both the representation of the polarity of both doing what feels good and then not feeling sure that she can. So I want you to imagine yourself in your most favorite place in the entire world. And I want you to look over to your right and you see her walking toward you. That sweet, smaller, tiny version of you. She can be any age, but she's younger than the age of 10. This is when she is still remembering that she's got that beautiful butterfly fire and fun within her, but she's starting to be really influenced by the outside world. So fear is present with her for the first time. She sits down next to you and you take her hand and you just sit there for a moment, reconnecting with yourself, remembering what it felt like to be her. In both the really good freedom moments and the really bad moments where you felt oppressed, where you felt not good enough, where you felt wrong. Hold space for the pain that she's felt, because it's that pain that she has led with since you left that age and stage of life and continued to grow into the version of you now. I want you to look at her and ask her, what are you the most scared of right now? And just, I'm going to give you a minute to allow space for her. She feels open. Our solar plexus is open, so she feels willing to tell you what it is she's the most scared of. Hold space for her and receive her words. There is no judgment. Maybe she's physically afraid. Maybe she's emotionally afraid. No matter what it is, you take her words tenderly into your heart. You know them. They were, and sometimes still are, your fears now. I want you to look at her right in the eye. She's looking at you, wanting guidance, wanting support, wanting this burden to be lifted. And from a space of deep knowing and excitement, you know that you get to relieve this for her. You get to remove this burden for her. And I want you, in your wisest version of you state, to take her hands in her cheeks in your hands and say, you don't have to be afraid anymore. I know more now than you do in this version of you. I have lived longer. I have been through so much more than what you've been through. And it's all been for us. It has all served us. There have been hard mountains that we've climbed and beautiful sunrises that we've seen. There have been such good moments and such hard moments, and I have survived them all. You are safe, and you don't need to lead the way any longer. You watch her as this information washes over her. She's never felt this before. She's never considered that there is a version of her that has grown up and knows more. And she doesn't have to make adult decisions anymore because you are the adult. She has grown into the adult, into the wiser version of herself. No longer does the little girl version of you need to lead the way. No longer does she have to make the decisions. You get to do that now. As you're talking to her, you feel a crown form on your head. It's a crown of wisdom, a crown of embodiment. You didn't have to earn it. You didn't have to appease other people in order to get it. It was there all along, and now you feel it. Looking at this former version of you, you witness the hardship that you've put on her by making decisions from her space and not your own current wisest version space. As we step into these next weeks and moments and months within Rebels University and within all areas of life, we get to remember that we get to make decisions. We get to make decisions from this deepest, wisest version of us now. And every step along the way, we get to release the toxicity that plagues the previous version of us. We don't need it because we've grown. We are intellectually smarter and energetically wiser in this moment now than we ever have been. You ask the inner child version of you how she's feeling, and she just laughs. Witness her laughing. Witness how she feels free. Witness the weight that she has put upon herself to make all the adult decisions that you now get to make from a place of empowerment and embodiment. Leave her. She doesn't need to bear that burden any longer. You get to lead the way. You give her a hug. You thank her for coming. You thank her for her hard work over the years, over the decades. And now you say, you get to go and be the little girl that I need you to be. Because I need you to remind me of only one thing. And that's to continue to play. Because even as an adult, with my wisdom and my knowledge, in all the decisions I get to make, I need to remember that making the decision to play is the most important. You give her a hug and you watch as she skips off, feeling more free than ever before. You have freed her. And now you get to make choices as you, knowing that you are supporting all the previous versions of you, and no longer are they supporting you based on the fear that they knew then. Please put your hands over your solar plexus and take a deep breath in, feeling the power that's coming from that space. We ask that as we leave this visualization and this call, that we are supported and protected and safe. That we have freed a level of ourselves and that we can move on, ready to do this work from this place of empowerment, knowing that we are safe and protected by all of our guides, our teams, and our own inner truth. Take a deep breath. Come on back. That went a bit longer than the 5 minutes that we had, but hopefully this was helpful and supportive. Over the next couple of weeks, we will make sure to give everyone the space. Remember, if you need coaching from this call, please post from this call leading up to a call, any call, please post in the group and let us know. I'm so grateful for the shares that we had today because I think they were exactly what we needed to really continue setting the foundation for what we're growing into. Remember to ask for what you need. Post in the group if you're really feeling like you need some support. Bonnie and I can coach in the group itself. We can make sure to pull you on to the next call. First and foremost, we're willing to go live. We are here to help you love you. And we will coach and love and support from that space. Always, always, always. Valerie, thank you for your bravery.
Thank you.
Jackie, thank you for yours from earlier. Ladies, let us know what comes up for you. We just moved a ton of energy in this call. I would recommend a lot of water. And if you can get up and walk around and just move some of the energy through your body, that would be really helpful. Whether you're at work, like make an excuse to go to the bathroom that's the furthest away from you possible. If you're at home, walk around your house a few times, do some stairs, move some energy. And hey, Monica, and make sure that you are coming into the group and asking for the support and the celebrations that you have that you need after this call, okay? All right. Thank you, ladies. I will get the recording up as soon as possible. Bye.